Today, President Trump's campaign says it has now raised more than $207 million since Election Day. Trump's campaign has flooded supporters with hundreds of fundraising emails and text messages over the past month, pleading for help to overturn the election results. Now, many of those messages, of course, packed with lies about the election being stolen, fraudulent, rigged. And in the fine print of these appeals for funds, 75% of the money might not go to any legal fight at all. Let's welcome Chris Krebs. He's the former director of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency at DHS, also known as CISA. Is that CISA? CISA.
I think back to the Civil War, where there was always pivotal battles that define the Civil War, and that, without those victories, we would be in dire straits. We would be still stuck in a state of slavery for a large part of Americans, and a state of a split continent. And I am heartened and happy that there those points in history, those points in history gave us helped us to overcome and to take victory. The battle at Fort Battery Wagner with the 54th, shown in glory, a smashing defeat for the Union, but a moral victory for America. Many black men had to die to show America what true freedom was. The battle at Little Round Top, where men stood on those hills and fought off the Alabamans that were trying to come up that hill. The Iron Brigade, which isn't talked about a lot. A bunch of hardened white guys that said, you know what, we're going to hold this ground. We're going to be the saving grace of this union. The Hornet's Nest, who, held their ground until the Confederates unloaded a bombardment of cannon fire that they until that at that point they had to surrender, but it gave the Union time at Shiloh, and on I can go on. It was all those pivotal little spots in the Civil War that held on, that gave us time to galvanize our troops to ultimate victory. And a lot of people want to give kudos to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and well, they should. However, and they should give it to those, and the number keeps growing. Every time I have a video, you'll see these numbers grow and grow. The 81 million that put them over the top, and it's a mixture of people that did that. And I want to read a passage because this is a testament to our checks and balances. A lot of people say, and there is some weaknesses in our democracy. That's true. But one great coach said, if you try to be strong everywhere, you'll be weak everywhere. The most important place to be strong, I think, in my assessment, in a democracy, is the law. First, bam, the mind, and then the law. You know, Thurgood Marshall argued that Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, you know what I mean, only they did what they did, but he felt that the law is what really changed society, because then you got the backing of the full might of the government, which is the military, which is the arm of the military, and these kind of things. And so he has a compelling argument, but I think all of it is important. But I think the final argument, the final say, the one that can, put us over the top, at the end of the day is the law. And I'm gonna read a portion out of Blackstone, which I just got, and then I'm going to speak to the unsung heroes of our win for our democracy. Should a judge in the most subordinate jurisdictions be deficient in the knowledge of the law, it will reflect infinite contempt upon himself and disgrace upon those who employ him. And yet the consequences of his ignorance is comparatively very trifling and small. His judgment may be examined and his errors rectified by other courts. Now, we all know what the courts have done to sustain our democracy. And the justice, even though it was unsigned, they indicated that, we're not going to even, and the mightiness of our Supreme Court was on full display. A lot of Smirkanish on CNN felt that, they didn't go far enough. And there's other people that believe that it doesn't go far enough. In my opinion, short and sweet is the way to go. Look, we got some work to do, but at the end of the day, the courts was like, y'all got to do that work, but here's the law. We're not going to even entertain that because they just don't have no grounding from Texas on. Okay? That's the 55-1. That's the 55 wins and the 55 wins for democracy and 1 win for dictatorship. Okay? At the end of the day, as I said, the courts speak the volumes of what the people have put forth. But without, and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X would argue this, because Thurgood Marshall argued his, And this is what Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, Fannie Lou Hamer, and the like would say, on the ground, the foot soldier is what gets it done. They too have a compelling argument. So I'm going to give you my assessment of those who are the greats in this second Civil War, and those who gave their lives, not their physical lives, but their psychological lives, their lives as far as having power. They've given up, because that's kind of what it is. We can't, like I said, we can't go out and shoot each other. That time is gone. But here, they gave up all of that for the love of this country. And by the way, those who say, that the people on the right or the independents or whatever, I love my country. I love this country. And I couldn't be more proud of this country today. And so, having said that, I'm going to talk about the little known warriors that gave up everything to keep our democracy strong. And they led by example. It's okay to be on the side, the winning side, on the side that, fought for it. But to come, these names, to come out from your side and say, you know what, no, you guys are wrong. I hope that we, when our time comes to lose, that we can stand up like this. Denver Riggleman, Republican, Virginia. George Conway, the husband of Kellyanne Conway.
No, come here. Pick this up.
William Barr, who came on late, Attorney General. Mitt Romney, former presidential candidate. Gabriel Sterling, implementation manager down there in Georgia. All those names, and this one, who is my
Just follow me.
pick for Person of the Year for the Time magazine. I love the fact that we got our democracy back, and I love Ben Harris and Biden. But this guy should be on the front, because this is the guy that not only gave up the most, but helped secure the victories of democracy for not just us, but for all of us. Chris Krebs, cybersecurity officer, in my view, is the Time Magazine Man of the Year. In closing, I'd like to say that, as you can see, when I say stop giving the puppet media attention, I'm not going to give them no attention either. I'm going to talk about those people and the democracy that we worked so hard to build. My ancestors worked so hard to build, whether it be through slavery or giving up their blood on the battlefield, or infiltrating the system and changing it from within. For them and for all of us on both sides that did the work to maintain a democracy, I bow to you. I salute you, and I get down on one knee to you.